I don't know if anyone else ran into this problem, but when I first started this project, I was following that original viral video, the CDC compliant mask that was put out by that hospital in Indiana, which called for 6x9 pieces of fabric and there was no pocket in the mask. So obviously now we're learning that the masks really have to have a pocket. So what do we do now? So I came up with a solution if anyone wants to follow this. So this is the finished mask. I've put a little wire in here. There's a little tuck for the chin, and then if you see here, there's an opening to put the filter inside. And I like this design also because another problem I was running into was with 3 layers of fabric that I was using before. These tucks were pretty difficult, but now I have just 2 layers of fabric here, but I still have the 3 layers in the middle. So if by chance someone doesn't have a filter, at least they're still getting the 3 layers in the middle over the mouth and nose. So anyway, so I have my 6x9 piece. This is my outer piece. I've been trying to use some thicker fabrics for the outer piece. This is like kind of a canvasy material. And then I was originally backing them with 2 pieces of muslin. So I'm still going to use 2 pieces of muslin. I just cut the 6x9 diameter down to 6x6 squares here. And then I serged one edge on each. If you don't have a serger, it's fine. You can just, press it down and just straight stitch and just make a clean edge like that. So what we're going to do is place these pieces. So the bare unserged corners are going to match up with the corners of your main piece. And then these little pieces in the middle, that's going to overlap like that. And then we have our 2 pieces of elastic. So we're going to just kind of sandwich the elastic at the corners. Just place that elastic diagonally. And then just make sure you pin it so that it won't get stuck in your seam allowance while you're sewing. Okay, pin that. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. And then when you've got all 4 corners, you can kind of just flatten this out. It buckles a little because of the elastic, but just do your best to just kind of flatten that out. The layers on top of each other. And then we'll just put one more pin just to hold those layers in place here and here. And then if you want to do the wire nose piece, I'll show you how I've been doing that as well. So I'm going to take my measuring tape. So we've got 9 inches. And then I'm just going to place a pencil mark at 3, 4.5, and 6. So that's basically the bridge of the nose and then the length of the wire that I'm putting in. Some standard armature wire you can get at any hardware store. And then he sanded the ends down with a Dremel so it's not sharp and it's not going to pierce through the fabric. So that will eventually end up right there. So these pieces are 2.5 inches long, but the space I'm allowing is 3 inches long just so you don't hit the end with your needle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is sew these pieces together. Okay, so then I'm going to just stitch all the way around the outside. Careful over your pins. So go all the way around. Okay, and then I will show you how I'm putting in the wire. So you've got your markings here. So I'm just going to put the needle down right in the stitch line so I don't go over it. And then I'm just going to do a couple stitches forward and back just to reinforce that. And then I'm going to put my needle down so that when I turn, I'm stitching about 1/4 inch from your original stitch line. So I'm just going to stitch to my last dot. Put your needle down and then you can lift up your presser foot. And then I've got my little piece of wire. I'm just sticking it in. Make sure you take your foot off your pedal while you're doing this, because that's a great way to sew through your finger. And then just carefully, so you don't go through your original stitch line, just do a couple stitches forward and back. Again, this is totally optional, but figured I'd show you how to do it. Okay, so now we'll go over to the ironing board. Turn this right side out. And then you'll see you have your pocket. And then press this nice and flat. Okay, then I'm going to do my tucks. Okay, so we're just going to do 3 tucks. Another 3 tucks here. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to the sewing machine. So if you have put your wire in, just make sure you find your wire. Don't forget it's in there so you don't accidentally break a needle. So I'm gonna just hold it like this. Here's my wire. I'm just gonna find the end and I'm gonna put my needle down about a 1/2 inch beyond it, just so I'm not in danger of sewing through it. And I'm just gonna do a little top stitching around the edge. And then again, don't forget if your wire is in there. I'm just gonna put my fingernail at the end of the wire. And then I'm just gonna stop when my finger touches the front of the presser foot. And I'm gonna go back around, stitch over the whole thing again just to make sure it's really strong. So now, basically we're done. I'm just going to put a little tuck in the bottom just to help the mask fit the chin a little bit better. So our wire's up top, so I'm just going to match up the ends and kind of put a little nose-shaped bend in the wire. And then down here I'm going to match up again. And then find your center, fold it over, and I'm just putting a little, just like a 1/4 inch little tuck in there, which just helps with the fit. And there you have your pocket mask.